All right, y'all. It is our last week of school, and I know how much fun you've been having with the science experiments from the Tea at Home Science Exploration website. So, you have that option today. You can just go to the website and do a new science experiment that you haven't done yet and complete the scientific method note catcher as you go. But I want to challenge you to take this a step further today. You have a good amount of time for science today. So I want you to consider coming up with your own question and then completing your own science experiment that you've designed and completing the note catcher for your own experiment. So maybe you want to visit the website and get some ideas from what's on there. But once you've done that, maybe what you do is you come here, and normally you skip this part of asking a question. But instead, what I encourage you to do is do this part. Ask a question. Think about something that you're curious about, and then make some observations and form some questions. So maybe you want to know, like, if you put a cube of ice outside, will it melt quicker by itself, in aluminum foil, or in saran wrap? And then you might make a list of all of your questions, and then choose a question to explore and write it here. Remember, it has to be something that's testable. You have to be able to observe this thing happen. So it couldn't be like, I wonder if the sun is farther away than Venus, right? Like you have to be able to test it during your own scientific exploration time. So it should be something that you can actually observe with your eyes and your five senses and watch happen. So once you've asked your question, take a second and research your topic. You can ask me for help finding a website. You can look in a book. You can watch a video. You can talk to your parents and write down what you've learned. So once you've done that, you need to write a hypothesis. So rewrite your question and come up with ways to test your question and then form your hypothesis. So we'll go back to the example I used of um, does ice melt more quickly when it's out in the sun in aluminum foil, saran wrap, or by itself? So my hypothesis might be written as, my hypothesis is that the ice will melt the quickest by itself and the slowest in the aluminum foil. So after you've written your hypothesis, remember that's your educated guess, then you're going to go about testing your hypothesis. Now, this part you're familiar with. We've done this with every experiment. So you're going to need to write about what's changing, what is it that you're measuring. So in my example, that'd be the amount of time it takes each ice cube to melt. What is staying the same? That's the controlled variable. And then the steps that you are taking to complete this experiment. After you've completed the experiment, you need to analyze your data and then draw a conclusion and a reflection. The one thing I want to add before I let you go and get started is here, where I'm pointing with the mouse. If you click where it says here in big blue letters, that will help you come up with ways to ask questions and asking the right questions for science exploration. And then also coming down here, there is if you go to this link, it'll help you with forming your hypothesis, your educated guess. So I encourage you to take on the challenge of creating your own scientific exploration, using your own curiosity and exploring that curiosity even further. If you're not up for the challenge, that's totally okay. Visit the Tea website and do an experiment you haven't done yet. Have fun.